Welcome back. You're watching Crossfire. In just about 12 hours, the Court of Appeal will deliver a crucial ruling on the BBI appeal case, a ruling expected to further shape the 2022 presidential race and the politicking therein. This coming hot on the heels of heightened backroom politics and push and pull among top leaders eyeing the top seat come August 9th, 2022. So who will budge? On Crossfire tonight, we explore the permutations informing the shifting political landscape in the country. My guest tonight, Abdul Swamad Sharif Nasir, who's a Member of Parliament for Mvita, Rigathi Gachagua, who's a Member of Parliament for Madhira, and Chris Wamalwa, who's a Member of Parliament for Kiminini. Good evening once again. Thank you for joining us on the show. And gentlemen, thank you very much for making time for us here on the Crossfire. Quite a busy week it has been for those in political circles, ODM, One Kenya Alliance. And perhaps let's just start from the ODM point. From Nakuru to Mombasa, the party leader Raila Odinga from Nakuru to Mombasa, meeting President Uhuru Kenyatta, now to Homa Bay. It would have been Kakamega next if the public gatherings weren't cancelled.
It would have definitely, but I think the difference is our party leader has been doing this for a while. It did not have to wait until this particular moment. It's been going to Mombasa severally. It's been going to Mombasa in the presence and in the absence of the President of Kenya. If we feel that the speed is up, watch the space. It's going to get.
So this is not him hitting the ground running, even though he hasn't officially declared.
No, not yet. It's him trying to basically get the node. People need to feel him at party and grassroots level. Whatever is happening next was meant to be in Western Kenya. After Western Kenya was meant to be going to other parts of the country. Needless to say, in the spirit of combating COVID, we need to adhere with these, and we will come up with other ways in which we're going to be able to engage.
Consolidating his base to build momentum before he officially announces that he's running?
I think he's already said it. I mean, the party has been very, very clear. It's not an issue of him vying. It's an issue of who wants to vie. And people have been moving around everywhere. I've seen even Jimmy Wanjigi as well has been moving around everywhere.
Yeah.
So,
okay, fine. Fair enough. One Kenya Alliance has been busy.
Oh yeah, we're in Naivasha, that is Kanu, Fort Kenya, Wiper, and ANC. And they're also in Mombasa to meet His Excellency the President. And a lot is still going on. Yeah.
How do you feel about the constant meeting then, especially the key principles in the One Kenya Alliance meeting? Honorable Raila Odinga, President Uhuru Kenyatta, a lot of politicking even from just coming out of those meetings that have happened even in Mombasa.
Yeah, we've had so many speculations going on, and I'm hoping you read the joint communique that came
today,
out.
Yes.
And particularly the issue of nation media. And Article 34 of the Constitution is very clear that media houses are independent, but they should report with precision.
Okay.
And when I spoke to my principals, such a thing never happened. Nobody told them that they have to support Raila Odinga for presidency.
So what did happen?
They were just discussing issues of maybe COVID and also issues of to maintain peace. Actually, when I spoke to them today, before His Excellency the President made an announcement, he mentioned to them, guys, things are so serious with this Delta variant, and we must observe the Minister of Health protocols.
Yeah. Can you confidently say that this was just about COVID, given the heightened backroom politics?
And also the issue of peace, of course, towards the general election. At a time like this, of course, temperatures are very high. And these are political leaders, as you know very well, that the most important activity to any politician or political party is the general election. At a time like this, you can see there are a lot of realignments, people are meeting, strategizing, because everyone wants to capture power. So really, as you do this, let's do it in a decent way, observe the Minister of Health protocols, and more importantly, maintain peace. And we call upon Kenyans and the spiritual leaders to pray at a time like this so that we have peaceful elections in 2022.
Honorable Brigade, all these meetings happening, ODM, Tungabara coalition now with Jubilee, getting into a pre-election coalition agreement, One Kenya Alliance also, doing their own thing on the side. Deputy President William Ruto is also busy. I saw it just the other day. I think he was meeting leaders from Turkana, if I'm not wrong. He's been very specific. He's not going to form any coalitions. So then what's the game plan?
Well, thank you very much. We are very busy. And not forming coalitions, because we think coalitions should be post-election. We are busy building structures and strengthening our party, the UDA. We were chased out of Jubilee, and we accepted and moved on.
But you're not fully out.
Well, technically we are there, but our hearts and soul are elsewhere. You know that. It's no longer a secret. We are building our party, the United Democratic Alliance, UDA. And of course, we are very busy working on the bottom-up economic model, and that will form our manifesto. And that's what we are busy on. And we can't have time now to talk about positions, coalitions, because many people are obsessed with the normal way of doing politics, or forming coalitions between tribes and between personalities. We in UDA and William Ruto, the Deputy President, are having a paradigm shift. We are talking of matters economics, and we are saying the problem of this country is not the constitution. It is not ethnicity. Kenyans are not at war. This thing of bringing Kenyans together is unnecessary, because there is no Kenyan who has a problem with another Kenyan. The problem in this country is the economy. And we in UDA are focused on the economy. We are discussing strategies, we are discussing programs, we are looking at how to revive the economy and turn this country around and put money into people's pockets. So we are very busy to deal with coalitions at this time.
Yes.
We are having consultations in terms of regions. This weekend, the Deputy President will be having a consultative meeting with leaders and economic experts from the Western region. Last weekend, he had consultations with the people from Nyanza. A month ago, he had consultation with people from the coast. Earlier alone, we had the first consultation with the people from the Mount Kenya region. So everybody is doing things differently.
So who will be representing the interests of these people on the table when now he hits the ground running for the serious campaign? Because it's not secret, Deputy President William Ruto wants to vie. He would want to hit the 50% plus one threshold in August 2022. How is he going to do that without coalitions? What formations do we expect?
The Deputy President and the UDA already have a serious coalition of the Hustler Nation. People are not used to this kind of coalition. They are used to some kingpins, some tribal leaders meeting somewhere and purportedly speaking on behalf of their people. When they have eaten, everybody has eaten. We from the Mount Kenya region have no business with the positions. The reason being very simple. We have had the presidency for the last 9 years. One of our own is the president of this country. But what we have gone through economically is worse than what we underwent under the 24 years of Moi misrule, when one of our own is the president. We don't think that opposition is a solution to the problem of the mountain. We don't think that having one of our own at the high table translates into a benefit to us. Because 9 years, the president is one of us. Our goods have been confiscated and touched in Nyamakema. Our people have been, their houses have been demolished in Kariobangi. People have been persecuted along the railway line. Businesses, of our people have been criminalized by the criminal justice system. And we don't think that is a solution.
No interest in positions whatsoever.
What we think, the discussions we are having with Dr. William Ruto, economy. All
right. You wanted?
No. You see, this is the thing. It suits them when it matters of when they were doing coalitions, it was coalitions of like minds. But now, when others are doing coalition, it's tribal groupings. Let me tell you, is one thing, and it's very, very easy to come out, and every single person coming out with the blame game. But needless to say, you've talked about having your own over the last 9 years. I just want to tell you that the DP has been DP for that period of time. You have been a member of parliament, and others have been members of parliament for that time. When we were crying out, not even before these elections, in the last parliament, when we were trying to shoot down issues that were being brought up by government, it was you from within who caused this problem. When we have already, during this period, already taken up, loans on this country valued at $1 trillion or plus as well, and probably this figure is even going to go higher. But you are in government, all right? So let us not be the ones that we decide right now. Let's make sure that the smoke on the gun, we hide it so it doesn't look like we're the ones who shot. But you put us in this position. The only difference, and I want to state this, and I want to put this, allow me to put this down. I want to say this categorically. We, first of all, it's a pre-election coalition. Yes. We as ODM do not have a coalition yet with the Jubilee government, all right? We are talking to them right now for purposes of 2022. We are not in government. Let us be very, very clear right now. We are not in government. You are in government. And as a matter of fact, then it is good enough to say that we need to clean ourselves from within. And that means your house needs to be set, clean from within.
Well,
we don't sit in cabinet.
This house you're talking about.
We don't even sit in cabinet. But you're disowning it when it's already down and burning. You caused the fire from within. And in turn, it ended up burning every other single person. Whether we like it or not, we're like a village where every single person is housed in a different hut, or you want to call it a house. And when yours burns, it's causing us to burn as well. We simply came up with a kind of politics, and this is what the handshake was all about. And unfortunately, this thing caused so much fear. With others, it caused so much fear, literal fear. The whole idea was, I remember a time where every single Monday, you guys would showcase us here being tear gassed. Why? Because we believed on certain matters that were not right. And we stood our ground. We stood our ground so heavily on issues inside the National Assembly. Now, this issue of division between... But
now some would argue that you're dining with a very government... you're supporting impunity.
As a matter of fact right now, and I want to repeat it again. It's not been said by me, it's been said by my party leader, it's been said by my party leadership as well. We're not in government. We are not in government. The only difference that is there right now, we've had a country that has had so much conflict. And it is the same Kenyans who came out and said, you know what, enough of politics, why don't you guys talk? And now we're talking, we're now being told, oh, by the way, you're the one who started the fire. We didn't. We were not part of it. Please do not, let us be very, very clear so far. All right?
Yes.
Yeah, there are two critical things. First, when you read the Political Parties Act, there's provision for coalitions.
Exactly.
So whatever we're doing is not a criminality. And I want to tell you this, that the future of this country is coalitions. It's just a matter of time that William Ruto will be forced to go into coalitions. His ally, Moses Kuria, has registered his party. And you heard him saying, don't force us to support you under one umbrella. Let's support you from our own political party. So to me, the future is in the coalition. It's provided for in the Political Parties Act, both pre and post. Nobody can come and maybe just stamp and think that you'll form the next government without a coalition. And even in the corporate world, many organizations come together for purposes of building competitive advantage. When 2 parties or 3 parties come together, you harness the different strength that you put together in order to beat the competition.
And that's what Oka is doing.
And as in One Kenya Alliance, in One Kenya Alliance, we recognize the value of partners, however small it is. It's only, you need only one vote to win. And when we talk about 50+1, it's not something easy. As in One Kenya Alliance, we believe in inclusivity. We want a One Kenya. And our critical issue here, of course, it's economic recovery. But we want a united Kenya as we move forward.
But I should ask this, even as the One Kenya Alliance, insists that they will support their own, and you've mentioned the future is coalitions, and the deputy president cannot run away from this. Do you think then he's trying to go the Jubilee way, collapse smaller parties into one big national face party? Like
that's why I said in corporate world, when mergers, different organizations come together for purposes of strategic alliance, maybe why they merge. There's a difference between strategic alliance and a merger. For instance, what happened in Jubilee, the parties merged, they came together. Yes. It was a competition of about, is it 10 political parties? So
14.
It was
14.
Yeah, it was 14. So maybe deputy president wants to use that strategy, but the strategy is actually the same. It's just like when you do a SWOT analysis, you realize you have this weakness, maybe in some particular region, and you can't come and say tribal kingpins, because everybody comes from a tribe. Yeah. And when you talk of a region on Mount Kenya is predominantly the Kikuyus. So when you're talking about the interests here, the interests are of that particular region. And as we move forward, my brother here talks of they're not in government. When you come to Parliament, ODM chairs the Finance Committee. Finance Committee is responsible for coming up with the laws that help in raising revenue measures, that you're going to use this revenue to fund the budget. So honorable cannot come here and say, cannot come here and say, as you're not in government.
I want to correct you.
I kept quiet and
please go ahead. Please go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. Again, as members of parliament under the presidential system, you are supposed to provide oversight. And if you're in bed with government, there are some issues, policies that come to the floor of the House. Instead of providing oversight, you are supporting. So they have a cooperation with the government, and by extension, some of the ills maybe the government is doing.
So they cannot run away from this.
They cannot run away from this. They cannot run away. Absolutely.
I'll come back to you, Honorable.
They can't run away from this.
I want to pick something up on Ruto's strategy, merging smaller parties into one major party. We've seen the MK also move away, saying perhaps they want to consolidate base in Central and speak in one voice. What would that mean for the Deputy President, given that he had really banked on the Central Kenya vote?
No, I think people are misreading the whole thing. Central Kenya is who? UDA is a Central Kenya party and a national party. We have 62 members of parliament from the Central Kenya, from Mount Kenya region, who are UDA. We have a total of 153 members in the entire country leaning towards UDA. That is the strength of UDA. So if we do a pre-election agreement with the TSP of Mwangi Kwenjore, what is his strength? How do we negotiate? What is his strength? He doesn't have a single member of parliament. He doesn't have a single MCA. He's just a party leader. It's a briefcase party. I mean, really, but after the election, after us, we are interested in post-election. After the election, if he has 10 members of parliament or 15, then we can sit and talk. If you talk of NAG Kenya, of Martha Karua, what is the strength of that party? If you talk of Moses Kuria, the new party he has formed that was registered today, yeah, when he comes, he is from Mount Kenya, he is alone. We have 62 who are in UDA. So what is his strength? How would we start that discussion? So that's why we are saying these parties are welcome. By the way, we are not saying they should dissolve. Not at all. We are saying there is a by-election in Meru, a ward. The UDA has a candidate. Moses Kuria's party has a candidate. Let's see what happens. If he gets that one, we can see where we begin. But you can't just say, you can't just say have a party, you are alone as a person, it's your party, you are from Mount Kenya, then you say it's a Mount Kenya party. Why Ford Kenya and ANC can have some discussion. They have members of parliament. The strength of Ford Kenya is known. The strength of ANC is known. The strength of Wiper is known. What is the strength of Mwangi Kijori's TSP? Where would you start the discussion? Just discuss with Mwangi Kijori as a person.
Of ODM.
Yeah, that I'm saying. Okay. I'm saying even ODM. By the way, ODM is a very strong party. It's a strong party. And now it wants to join Jubilee with the remnants of what we have left in Jubilee. Yesterday, Jubilee had over 200 members. Yesterday, they could not raise 20. You see, the party is a shell. But ODM wants to talk with Jubilee, maybe with the buildings and Morale and Tuju.
They're talking about restructuring it. Perhaps a strong coalition could be built out of this.
Restructure. You know, party is my sister. It's membership. It's leadership. It's not just the papers or the building or the name. So we are saying we have no problem with Mwangi Kijori's TSP. The party is Mwangi Kijori as a person. What is his strength? Moses Kuria, what is his strength? You know? So you cannot just say because you are from Mount Kenya and you have a party, the party belongs to Mount Kenya.
Okay.
You understand what I mean?
I just want to get one thing clear. I want to get one thing clear. First of all, I mean, I truly believe, I mean, the honorable member, Gachagua, is someone who has worked with my late father as well. So his wisdom is something else. But one thing is clear, you know, when you say that UDA, actually, you right now, none of you is UDA. You're all in Jubilee.
No, we are not.
No, I'm just talking about, you know, when you say,
on paper you're in Jubilee, but the reality is we're UDA.
Exactly. So it's the same thing as saying UDA has how many members of parliament? 2. No. So it is probably you'd probably be saying the same thing when you say that you know there are other parties as well that, as a matter of fact, they're probably more independent in parliament than UDA members. So as it stands right now, none of you is formally in UDA. You are all currently in Jubilee, and I accept. I mean, eventually, the way you're saying that you know, every single person has their own parties. Where I come from as well, there are people who decided to have parties, and we respected their wishes and everything else, and probably the same thing. But back to my brother, Honorable Wamalwa, and he gave a classic example of Gladys Wanga, my sister, who I happened to be before this whole realignment of chairs of committees. She was a member of my committee, and a very, very extremely hard-working member as well. But first of all, our role as Parliament, collectively, is oversight. In fact, when you look at what the laws actually say, the only positions that are designated specifically for those who the chairs should be from opposition are the oversight bodies. And that's the reason why, that's the reason why I've served with Honorable Maula before. I've been his chair before. When he was my whip, and he understood my principles, and I understood his principles on the floor of the House. But ultimately, we all understand that in the current system that we have, the role of oversighting the government is not an issue. You cannot come up and say, just because you're chair, because eventually, even if the chair is from somewhere else, for argument's sake, even if the chair was from anywhere else, we still have members from ODM coming up with amendments.
Imagine the problem here is ODM is coming from a place of being very critical of the government, being at the forefront of you know, criticizing the government on matters, corruption, issues to do with debt. But since the handshake, we have not seen that critical aspect come out from the ODM. And actually, you have colluded with members of Jubilee to pass some bills that...
You might want to give me an example, because the last time that I checked, even after the coalition was there, I want to give this as one classic example. When Duale was the leader of majority, the handshake was still there. One example that was there, that they tried so hard to pass, eventually they did, but the minority whip, Junet, and myself, I'm giving you just one example, one classic example. the government said because of COVID, we now need to ensure that the railway levy fund is not going to be used just for purposes of paying debt, but equally after paying debt, they can also use it for running expenses. And I was on the floor of the House. Even, by the way, that was a time when the handshake was already there. And I could give you even more examples as well. It does not necessarily mean. We can give you more example. An example is yesterday, and Chris Malwa was in the House as well yesterday.
I don't spend so much time on you, but sorry to cut you short. I don't want to lose this trail of thought, because he's mentioned that the Jubilee you're entering a coalition with is a shell. So what's the game plan then for ODM here?
It's first and foremost, he talks about properties and everything else. One of the institutions that has the highest turnaround is political institutions, Parliament, county assemblies, the Council of Governors. The faces that you're seeing here today, tomorrow are going to be called former. All right? So when you talk about that this is a shell or whatever it is.
What it used to be.
It could be a shell. It could be whatever it is that is there. But I can assure you, the other people who are going to be vying on those seats. The same way, there are going to be people who will be vying on Fort Kenya, where my friend belongs to. Don't tell me that every single MCA who's currently in Fort Kenya will equally be maintaining their seat. You'll expect other people as well, and fresh faces.
ODM, look at 2007. How many members of parliament were they having? Look at 2013. Look at 2017. It's been dwindling. It's been reducing. So when you extrapolate that, you can guess what numbers we expect in 2022. As in Fort Kenya, however small we are, we've always been increasing. So this is to tell you, being a party with numbers today, it doesn't mean...
I'll allow you to finish, but
I give you time, my brother. You know the rules of debates. You give me time to
Thank you, Chris.
myself.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So the issue is this. If you look at ODM, it's been having a slow puncture. It's been dwindling. It's been reducing. Extrapolate that. 2007, 2013, 2017, the number has been drastically reducing. 2022, I have no doubt that it will reduce further. So this is to tell you that as we debate today, even when we come to Parliament, I still insist that they can't continue saying that we're not in government. They are in government. They've had a cooperation or something, okay?
No, we actually haven't.
Okay, fine, the handshake or whatever it is.
And that's cordial relationship.
Yeah, and that's why Wanga enjoys these benefits of chairing the Committee of Finance, which is a very, very important committee as far as matters of taxation are concerned. Look at the cost of LPG. How much is it now? It is the ODM. Their person is the one who is chairing.
No.
So you cannot run away from the ills that are happening in the government. Chris, we've heard about KEMSA billionaires. We want to evaluate critically. Who are these beneficiaries? Okay? So today, we should not bury our heads in the sand. We look at each other in the eye and see, are you providing the required oversight in Parliament? Today, you raise a matter on the floor of the House. They come and say, we're in government, we have to protect. Let me tell you, there are three principles. We have three separation of powers, three arms of government. We have the judiciary, we have the executive, and we have Parliament. They are supposed to check each other. At times I'm on the floor of the House, and we've seen nominees by His Excellency the President, and you want to raise a matter. My colleagues come and say, no. We cannot object what the President has said. So the issue of oversight, it is true, it has been compromised because of the cooperation and the goodies you are enjoying.
Let me say, my brother here, the Honorable Nasil, his late father was a great friend of mine. We were in government together, more days. He was a very serious mobilizer. And I want to advise him so that he can tell his principals. They are inheriting a shell. The reason is this one. Forget about what will happen in the elections. People will not be elected on that party. We have had by-elections in a ward called Lakeview. Jubilee lost. And Jubilee was a party of the movement in the Mount Kenya region, Lakeview, Naivasha, they lost. Ladan Ward, Jubilee lost. Gaturi Ward in Muranga, they lost. Juja, they lost. Rurie in Nyandarua, they lost. Kiamba, they lost. Today, we have a by-election in Meru. The MPs, the Kieleweke-leaning MPs are having a fight with the Tuju. A very serious fight. They don't want a Jubilee candidate in Meru. That is how bad things are. Because they are saying the results are obvious. We will lose to UDA. We would rather not lose. Please don't put a candidate. Give us time to reorganize the party. That is the party now ODM wants to go and join. A party that is asking for time to reorganize itself before they can go for by-elections. And I want to debunk this theory and this assertion that the Mount Kenya, they need their own party. UDA is not only a national party, but its roots are in Mount Kenya. The Secretary General of UDA is Veronica Maina. She is born and brought up in Kangema in Muraga and married in Kigumo. And you know the heart, the engine of a political party is the Secretary General. Number two, the first member of Parliament for UDA is from the Mount Kenya region, right. John Joguna Kawanjiko. You know, from the Mount Kenya. That's where it has its roots. It has very serious strength. We may not be the UDA officially, but in terms of UDA-leaning members of Parliament from the mountain, we are 62.
Yes.
So that is our party of choice. And that's why you can see all those by-elections. UDA is winning. And we pray to God that there should be no other deaths. We don't want by-elections.
So why not just resign, all of you resign from
why,
the party?
Why should we resign?
Why should you not?
Why is Uhuru not resigning by going to ODM? I mean, you lead by example.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. The reason I want to ask you a question. During the Kibra by-election, Maina Commander and Waiguru were in Kibra campaigning for ODM. Nobody told them to leave. During Musambweni by-election, our party leader of our former party, Jubilee, President Uhuru Kenyatta, took a photograph with the ODM candidate in Musambweni. Nobody asked him to leave.
You're the ones unhappy in this marriage.
I'm saying, it doesn't matter. You can stick to a marriage because of the children, even if you are unhappy. In any case, we are living in February. Yeah, the date is known. Everybody knows. We are not hiding. And what has happened in Jubilee? And we told them. We told President Uhuru Kenyatta, my friend, and my former boss, once you invite opposition into government, it will destroy Jubilee. It has come to pass.
Right.
After the handshake, Jubilee is destroyed, is finished. NASA is finished. You know, I'm shocked that the president is calling these people in Mombasa to form a coalition after breaking NASA. Why do you break NASA coalition just to form another one? It doesn't matter. It is not working. We have a coalition called NASA. We have broken it. Then we are trying to put people together to form another coalition with the same fellows who are in NASA. You know, the characters are not different, by the way. You know, they are not new characters here. They are the same characters who are in NASA. So what we are saying is this. Us, we don't think that it is right and prudent at this time to form coalitions, because the people who want to join coalitions with us and who are forcing us, we don't know their strength.
Honorable Chris Wamalo.
We don't know their strength. Yeah. So let's
so you will wait it out.
As we are saying, as we have a national party, we have a serious coalition of the Hustler Nation. Let's go to elections. After the outcome, if we need to strengthen our numbers in Parliament, in the Senate, we'll look at the like-minded people who we can work together, who we have the same ideology. We are looking at things the same way, and then we can form a post-election coalition.
Wamalwa, and it's still on the One Kenya Alliance. The Deputy President, give it to him, with the Hustler movement, is seemingly putting up a formidable fight. ODM teaming up with Jubilee, and in this case, quote-unquote, Kieleweke team. One Kenya Alliance has said and constantly said that they will not support Raila Odinga presidency, but will pick from one of their own. Paint for me a picture of Oka gets its own flag bearer, ODM and Jubilee get their own. Are you not making it easy for this very person you all don't want to see in the presidency?
First and foremost, I want to say, I don't think, or I remember, the time that the principles of One Kenya Alliance have said they cannot work with Raila. I think those are speculations.
Exactly.
What One Kenya Alliance has done, and we believe in coalitions. And by the way, when coalitions come together, because my friend Honorable Shago was referring to parties that don't have members of parliament. When you come together, it's not necessarily on the strength of the members of parliament that you have. The elections in 2022, you never know what will happen. The small party you are demeaning might pull a surprise. And just like in the Bible, there's a verse in the Bible which says that the rejected stone became the cornerstone. So my advice to them, please, hold on. 2022 elections, and the Constitution is very clear, the 50+1, you never know. It might be at that TSP you're looking down upon, it might be that Moses Kuria, or it might be Mother Karua.
Then back to my question.
Absolutely. So the issue is, us in One Kenya Alliance, we believe in coalitions. And each party brings some value.
Are you not
and
making
the value
it
that
easy
comes,
for the deputy president?
No, I don't think so. Just hold on.
Okay.
And as we move forward, we've said, if Raila Odinga wants to join One Kenya Alliance, let him join us. If he wants, so long as he's like-minded. And the bad manners that were there, so long as they come in under different new conditionalities, we have no problem. We can work with anyone. Even we can work with you guys, you know? 2022.
Yeah.
As we move towards 2022 right now, we are now doing our manifesto. When we were in Naivasha, manifesto is very critical. It's a document that markets the party. It's an accountability document. And the focus is on the value proposition. You're looking at the voters, okay? So as in One Kenya Alliance, we have a technical team in place that is working on the party manifesto. We're also going to go around. But because we respect the directive by His Excellency the President on issues to do with the Minister of Health protocols, we've put everything to a stop.
Do you honestly believe that the One Kenya Alliance can marshal enough numbers to win the 2022 election?
Why not? Look at the principles. There are people who are experienced, who have been in politics. They have the qualities to lead this country. In a football game, by the way, you don't have to be the one scoring. You find that the top striker at times is so heavily marked. Pass the ball to somebody who is not marked like Wetangula there, or Musalia Mudavadi, or Kalonzo, will score and you'll win.
But so unfortunately, it's a game of numbers.
No, that's true. But the issue is, I'm just giving an example of a football game when you're playing. So that when you win as a team. You don't have to be necessarily Raila Odinga scoring. Maybe in this game, Raila Odinga is heavily marked, okay? And you've seen stars when you are playing football. They are heavily marked, they can't score. So we're saying, okay, when you join us, yeah, we value you, yes, come on board, but don't be the one necessarily scoring. Pass the ball to that particular person who is in a vantage position. And when you score and you win, we win as a team.
And in this case,
that's why we have said,
in this case,
at no given time we've said that we can't work with Raila Odinga.
But as long as he supports one of the OCA principles, yes?
The conditionalities will sit on a round table if at all we'll be in one house. That will be in-house, and we'll put strategies in place. We'll do a lot of mapping. Then we will unveil our candidate at the appropriate time. And we're going to win. I can assure you, One Kenya is going to form the government.
What happens if One Kenya Alliance doesn't play ball? ODM
No. I'll tell you what's going to happen.
What options do you have?
I agree. I might not agree with the parables and everything that is used about, who is the unmarked player and everything else. But I agree with his sentiments that people need to work together. Like-minded people need to work together. You can never be able to live in isolation. You can't be a person that holds a monopoly of numbers. You're the only person who holds a monopoly of good ideas. So yes, I do agree. But I mean, we welcome their proposals to come forward, and we are welcoming the proposals to come to us, and we are ready to sit doon. Of
but
course,
it's not a proposal. We're just doing an analysis.
I have a question just before we continue.
He was trying to teach me the rules of engagement in debate, but I just...
Let me ask you this so perhaps you can finish your point. And I imagine a lot of Kenyans would want to understand this concept of like-mindedness. What is like-mindedness in politics? If NASA divorced, and the very same people are saying, we are welcoming Raila, if he's like-minded, they would want to do that formation once again. Apart from Gideon Moi, who's in Kanu,
let me tell you now.
What is like-mindedness in this case?
And I'll explain to you. NASA, when we were going to the elections, we had a model that this is what we want Kenya to be based on these values. We had all this, and this is what it is that we're talking about, like-minded, all right? And I'll tell you, the Honorable Member has come up with an excellent argument that ODM has lost seats in 2012. We lost whatever we had in 2012 and then the next elections and thereafter. But equally, Ghana around, the people who got elected as members of parliament, as other positions, as senators, and this is something that, as a media house, you might want to do your homework on that. As senators, and I'm emphasizing the word senators, so it might give you a hint as well. Raila Amolo Odinga got more votes than those people as well. So eventually, you might want to look at it, that the coalition that we had then was that it was a free fall for everyone to be able to vie. It does not necessarily mean that ODM was not the favorite party. Because if it was not the favorite party, then chances are that the votes that this gentleman who got here would have probably been higher than what Raila got.
So this is an argument.
This is an argument for totally another day, and I mean we're ready to come up with those statistics as well. But right now, what we're saying is very simple. Our doors are open. Our doors are open, and
to like-minded.
To like-minded, yes. When I say like-minded, I mean people who are not going to use, the card of tribe. When I say like-minded, we don't want people who are going to use the card of extorting emotions of people, and which is what is basically happening. This whole hustler narrative is nothing else except you're extorting the people who you were part and parcel of making them that way. And
let me define like-minded.
No one is gonna deny and escape from the fact that the same people who every single weekend go on public platforms and shout out that we can be able to come up with.
And it's a point you already made. Like-mindedness.
Let me define like-minded, because I thought...
at what was the point of departure for NASA, parties within NASA?
Before I go to that, let me define like-minded, because I thought my brother will define it. When you talk of like-minded, in politics, it's about ideology, it's about philosophical orientation. And when you look at a party, if the party believes in a certain ideological direction, you're like-minded. There's a convergence. For example, as in One Kenya Alliance, one of our critical beliefs is the issue of inclusivity. Inclusivity is very critical, and that's why we adopted the name One Kenya. So anybody who believes in that inclusivity aspect, the rule of law, and you can only know that if you look at somebody's manifesto. My brothers in UDA, they've been talking about the bottom-up approach. And I've been trying to demystify that the excitement going around, it is not something new.
Exactly.
This is something that has been there.
I was hoping to not get into that because...
No. I'm bringing the aspect of like-minded. What is your philosophical orientation, the ideology?
So then I would ask, Wiper, ANC, Ford Kenya are in One Kenya Alliance.
Absolutely.
You're saying you're open to also working with Raila Odinga from ODM.
I never said Raila Amolo Odinga.
ODM
I said any other like-minded party. Like-minded.
ODM could be one of them, right?
Yes, ODM could be one of them. I don't refuse that. But I never said ODM. I said other like-minded parties.
We're just redoing things.
Yeah, absolutely. And the issue here is If our brothers come, we look at their manifesto. We look at their philosophic orientation. We believe in team working, one among equals. But if you come on the table with the entitlement that it must be me, you get.
That's a
As
problem.
in One Kenya Alliance, it's a problem. We are saying, if Musalia gets it, we'll say tick. If Gideon Moi, if Wetangula, if Kalonzo Musyoka, there's that respect for each other.
Okay.
But if
Fair
you
enough.
come with the mentality that it must be me, you demean others, you bully others, some of the reasons why NASA divorced.
Do you feel
the
bullied?
respect for each other. There was that element of someone thinking, I'm too big. In fact, he was saying, if you are too big, why don't you do it alone? So we want respect for each other. That is the issue.
I want to talk about the BBI in a short while because we have about 10 minutes. But Honorable
I was
Rigathi,
wondering
are
if
you
he
open?
if he feels bullied. I mean,
Are you open to working with any of these parties as UDA?
We are open to working to anybody who shares the aspirations of the Kenyan people. Anybody who wants to join us to change the economic fortunes of our people.
So under what structures, if you have
We are
insisted
saying
it's not a coalition?
the bottom-up economic model is what we are working on, and we are asking our competitors, you develop yours. Tell us how the trickle-down will work. Don't criticize ours. Just deal with yours. And you see why they are not able to have an economic model. They are still struggling on who is the presidential candidate.
no.
Listen, let me finish. Let me finish. You know us, we have a candidate, right? We have a party. We are now fine-tuning the economic model, and we are good to go. We are hoping that these characters, the president can hasten his efforts of trying to put them together into a formidable coalition, convince them to back Raila or whoever he wants, and then we can meet at the ballot.
If you're open to working with these other parties, under what structures?
We are saying,
And under what formations?
we are saying anybody who wants to work with us for now joins UDA. We work
As an
together.
individual?
As an individual.
Not as a party?
Not as a party.
Okay.
Okay?
That's what I needed
And then, after the elections, depending on the outcome, the boys will be differentiated from the men. We'll be able to know the men and the boys.
Let's talk
And then from there, we can see how we engage under what terms, depending on your strength and depending on what following your command. And the strength of political parties, by the way, is known by numbers. The numbers you attract at the presidential vote, members of parliament, senate, county assembly, governors, the way to define a party.
Okay.
You can't just say I have a party as an individual and say this is our party, we need to negotiate. You are negotiating on what strength? Yeah. So what we are saying is we are ready. Anybody who thinks that they can come, we address matters economy. We discuss the matters of reviving the Kenyan economy, how we can come up with a guaranteed minimum return for our cash crops, how we can come up with a biashara fund for the hustler nation. We are game.
Not too much time. I'd like to start with you. BBI, big ruling coming in tomorrow. What are your expectations?
Well,
And how do you think, whichever way it goes, it will affect the political landscape?
by the way, ourselves, because to start with, we don't think it's a priority for the people of Kenya. In fact, this BBI thing messed this country because we shifted our priority from the Big Four agenda to BBI. Now, tomorrow, we have a ruling. The High Court made a very reasoned judgment, in my view, and it is my prayer and hope that the Court of Appeal will uphold the ruling of the High Court. If it does so, I am delighted that the former Prime Minister is on record saying he will not go to the Supreme Court. What I would want to happen is that if the Court of Appeal upholds the High Court ruling, the former Prime Minister and the President and the others do not go to the Supreme Court, the matter is there.
If it doesn't?
What I would want to happen is that the money that had been set aside for that exercise, I would want us to buy enough vaccines for our people so that we can open up the country, so that people can go to work.
If the decision is not upheld?
I would want a situation where that money, we buy masks, give them to the police, they put in their vehicles. When they come across Kenyans who cannot afford masks, instead of arresting them, they give them masks. If it is, if the judgment of the High Court is overturned, I don't know what the people who went to court in the first place want to do. I don't know whether they want to go to the Supreme Court. But for us, the Hustler Nation,
and bothered.
BBI is not our focus.
Okay.
It's not our baby. We are not interested. We are focused on the bottom-up economic model.
Okay.
We are focused on strengthening structures for our political party. We are actually prepared for 2020.
All right. Let me just give it to Abdul Somad before expectations from court tomorrow.
All right. First and foremost, you know, every single person who talks about, and it's very, very easy to trash out and say that BBI is not what it is that we want. What we want is bottom-up economic model. But I'll tell you what it is. It is the same BBI that is talking about resources going down. It is the same BBI when my brother, Chris Omalo, talks about people, you know, who is the person who is meant to be held accountable inside the National Assembly. It is the same BBI that solves that problem. So my belief and the belief of many other Kenyans as well who are willing to stand up and vote for that document is that yes, BBI is a solution, and a solution not in terms of just, and like I said, we are a party who do not just believe on going on public platforms and using and extorting people's miseries and people's lack of livelihood. We're a party that believes in coming up with a solution to that problem, and the solution has to be done practically. Now, I know
what's
my
the
party
major
leader,
solution here?
Well, one of them is the BBI. When we talk about it, you know, when they're talking about a bottom-up economy, this is what we're talking. We're saying that send the money right down.
Okay.
When we come up with a solution and say that, you know, through the BBI, there will be a certain percentage that has to be set aside for every single ward in the country. What else are you looking for?
Key among the solutions also is peaceful elections.
When we talk about peaceful elections, when we talk about that, you know, we want the youth to be given tax exemptions for a certain period of time. We want them to be able to get this kind of money.
Nothing stops us from doing that now.
Sorry, you see, the thing is, first of all, when it comes to the money, there's already a minimum threshold. So this can be done by the president of the day for purposes of whatever it is.
So he doesn't need the BBI to do this?
It can. What we want is not something, by the way, a constitutional document is not a document just to be used for today.
Okay.
All right? The same constitution that Raila Amolo Odinga fought for previously, guess what? The people were enjoying the benefits of him being tear gas, being everything else. The people enjoying it.
We don't
the same
have too
DP.
much time, Honorable Abdul Somad, but quickly. Peaceful elections is very key in this BBI. If the court does not uphold this decision, and of course it doesn't go to the Supreme Court, does it mean then that in 2022 we will...
No. We've never said that.
We fashioned it around that.
We've never said that. And I know my party leader has been on record of saying that if whatever way it goes, we will accept it and we might not even appeal or whatever it is. But that is still subject to discussion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
How is this, if
the BBI?
If it's upheld and there's more positions to share out, do we expect it to be merrier?
Any serious politician should focus on tomorrow's ruling, whether you support BBI or you don't support BBI, because it's going to change the political environment drastically. So any serious politician, whether you are a UDA, whether you are for Kenya, whether you are whatever, you must focus on tomorrow's ruling, because it will change the political game. And this is going to be done this way. Because, for instance, if it's going to be upheld, we must go for a referendum. And I had my brother saying that money that was budgeted for that particular referendum, they should go and buy masks. I want to tell him that when it comes to budget, and we passed the budget just the other day, it was not provided for, because it has not passed. So until it has passed, it's when it will be provided for. This budget, it was not provided for. And if at all it's going to pass, and we go for a referendum, there are fundamental issues we have to ask ourselves. For example, Nyeri, where he comes from, there are 3 constituencies, protected constituencies, which have not met the threshold, which by 2022, they should be scrapped. So that is critical. It's going to change about the lifestyle of how Nyeri people are going to be represented. We also have big constituencies in this country, like Embakasi, we've heard of Ruiru, whatever. They've also been looking for a way of getting more. And us as parliamentarians, we want the executive to come from the floor of the House. We want ministers. And as per Article 255 of the Constitution, when you change the function of Parliament, executive comes to Parliament, you must do that through a referendum. We have so many cabinet secretaries, even who have let down the Jubilee government. We want ministers to come from the floor of the House. To me, that's very critical. And more importantly, when it comes up here at the executive level, if more positions are going to be provided there, some of us who advocate for coalitions, of course, we can see how the issue aspect of inclusivity can be handled. So tomorrow, any serious politician, you must focus, because it's going to change the political scenario of this country. Someone like me who wants to be the governor of Trans Nzoia, I want more revenue to go to the county. There are many functions which were devolved, but resources never followed. Yeah. So we want more money so that the roads can be done. We want more money so that we're going to have the health facility. The health facilities which are heavily devolved. Not much money is being devolved. A lot of money is here at the central aspect. So we want more money to go to the ground so that dispensaries can be built. We can improve the human resource of medical doctors and the nurses. More drugs can be found. Right now, CDF is a very success story. Everywhere you go, there's a project of CDF. If we're going to increase more money from 15% to 35%, people will be smiling all the way. So we support BBI if at all it's going to pass, but in case it does not pass, it's not life and death. Okay. We should be able to continue. But by the way, let me finish. And again, it is not that Raila Odinga will not go to appeal. Everybody has a right.
He's already said his.
Yeah, he has already said. But it's not his prerogative. Yes. Any other person, any Kenyan can be able to do that.
I think I'm better placed to speak on the
I'm in agreement with my brother here that they are really focusing on tomorrow. BBI was about 5 positions. The rest are sweeteners.
Revenue,
while the groups in Mombasa are stuck, my dear, is that they have no positions to dish out. Those 5 positions were for those 5 characters. Raila Odinga, Salim Mudavadi,
oh dear Lord,
Wetangula, Gideon Moi, and Kalonzo Musyoka. In the absence of BBI, the guys are stuck. So I agree with him. Yeah, some people are not going to sleep tonight. Not me. Us, our game plan is with BBI or without BBI. Okay, and we made that from the word go.
But the 5 positions will make your campaigning better.
I'm saying we are comfortable without BBI. We were comfortable with the BBI. But we didn't think it is necessary to bring extra expense for people of
I'll give you like 30 seconds. Okay? Give us your closing remarks as you finish.
I would like to say that let's wait for what happens tomorrow. With or without BBI, we have a country. This is our country.
Great.
It's a beautiful country. And irrespective of the outcome, Kenyans must move on and let everybody use the same energy, the same passion, the same zeal they are using to unite NASA to revive the economy for the people of Kenya.
Right. I'll give you each 30 seconds as we finish.
Mine is, I mean, and I just hope, and I hope and pray that media houses as well are going to be able to look. I mean, we live at a time when, courtesy of the current constitution, which Raila Amolo Odinga is known as the father of, you have access to everything. Find out who are the true people who are fighting for matters in Parliament, in the Senate. These are the people who have been able to move these bills, these motions. And these are the ones who just speak on public platforms. Again and again and again, it's a good thing. It's an excellent notion that you have come with, and every single time that we come up and say that, you know, we don't need a tribe, our tribe is the hustler nation, but you know what? Sort the problem of the people that you want them to vote for you. And you cannot sort them by just going on a public platform, getting out there, coming up with ridiculous remarks on those public platforms, abusive remarks. Sort the problems. You have the position to do it right now. Okay, Honorable Chris, you're lucky you get to have the last word here.
Tomorrow is a very important day, and we call upon the media houses. Please broadcast it openly.
Oh, we shall. We shall.
Every Kenyan has a right to information, to access information. So tomorrow we'll be there, And my prayer to the judges of the Court of Appeal, we are with you, we are praying for you. Tomorrow, please give us a reasoned judgment that will take this country to greater heights of prosperity. And as politicians, we are ready to respect the decision of tomorrow. And I'm requesting the Kenyans to pray for this country so that we can have a peaceful 2022 general elections.
Way to end it. Thank you very much, gentlemen. It's a conversation that could go on and on. It was an hour, can you imagine? We've already done an hour. It's 11 p.m. We have to finish at some point, but it's a conversation we'll keep having. Next week, let's get back and talk about the judgment after it's been delivered. Honorable Rigathi Gachagua, Member of Parliament, Madeira, Honorable Chris Owamalo, Member of Parliament, Kiminini, and Abdul Swamad Sharif Nasir, thank you from Mvita constituency. Thank you very much, gentlemen. To our viewers, thank you for joining us here on The Crossfire. I am Akisa Wandera. Till next time, have a good night. And remember, we are broadcasting the BBI ruling tomorrow live here on KTN News. So do join us for those details. And we'll, of course, be breaking down this judgment for you, just taking a look at what it means for both you and I, and, of course, how it will change the political landscape going forward. Have a good night.